The ceiling tiles above my hospital bed had 43 water stains. I'd counted them 17 times during my 3 weeks in traction, memorizing each brown blotch like a constellation map of my personal hell. The orthopedic ward smelled like disinfectant and broken dreams, punctuated by the steady beep of machines that reminded everyone you weren't dead yet. My name is Victor Tolan, and I used to think I knew what rock bottom looked like. Turns out I was wrong. The warehouse accident had been spectacular in its stupidity. A forklift operator named Jimmy, high on something stronger than coffee, had taken out an entire rack of steel beams. I'd been doing my weekly safety inspection when 2 tons of I-beam decided to rearrange my spine. The doctor said I was lucky. Lucky to walk again, lucky to be alive, lucky, lucky, lucky. Funny how luck feels a lot like lying flat on your back, staring at water damage, waiting for people who supposedly love you to remember you exist. I reached for my phone with the mechanical precision of someone who'd made this call too many times. Speed dial 1. Home. It rang 4 times before Brenda answered, her voice sharp with irritation. What now, Victor? I'm busy. Just checking in. Thought maybe what? Maybe I'd drop everything to hear you complain about hospital food? Her laugh was bitter, familiar. The sound of 10 years of marriage curdling. You're not worth the gas money, honey. Die fast or heal quick, but stop calling me every damn day. The words hit harder than the steel beam had. Clean, surgical, precise. Brenda, I just wanted to... Hold on. Tyler wants to talk to you. My stepson's voice came through the speaker with all the warmth of a January morning. 19 years old, college sophomore, and every bit his mother's son. Hey, Victor, Mom says you keep calling. I wanted to hear how you're doing. How's school? Fine. Look, I'll make this simple for you. We don't miss you. We're actually happier without you calling all the time, bringing everyone down. So maybe just don't. The line went dead. Dial tone. Flat, electronic indifference. I set the phone on the bedside table and went back to counting ceiling tiles. 43 water stains, each one a small catastrophe, a failure of infrastructure, a slow leak that nobody bothered to fix until the damage was permanent. The nurse, Patricia, mid-50s, kind eyes, came by during evening rounds. She'd been bringing me extra pudding cups and magazines nobody else wanted. The kind of small kindnesses that remind you some people still remember how to be human. No visitors again today? She asked, checking my chart. My family's very busy, I said. She nodded, the professional nod of someone who'd seen this movie before. Well, your physical therapy scores are excellent. Dr. Martinez thinks you might be ready for discharge sooner than expected. How much sooner? Week, maybe 2. Depends on your progress. After she left, I opened my laptop. The hospital's Wi-Fi was surprisingly good, and I'd been using my recovery time productively. Most people saw Victor Tolan, warehouse supervisor. Steady job, steady guy, nothing special. What they didn't see was the former military logistics officer who'd managed supply chains across 3 continents. The man who knew exactly where every asset was, whose name was on every document, and how to track millions in resources across complex networks. I pulled up the house deed, my father's inheritance, transferred to me when he died 2 years before I met Brenda. My name only? Always had been. Vehicle registrations? Both trucks in my name. My credit, my insurance, my responsibility. Bank accounts? Joint, but funded entirely by my paychecks for the past decade. Brenda's boutique had been hemorrhaging money since day one, and the boutique itself, and that little vanity project that was supposed to make her feel important. Secured with a business loan that used our house as collateral. My house, my collateral, my signature on every page. I'd built the architecture of our life with military precision, never thinking I'd need to dismantle it with the same efficiency. But Brenda had made her position clear. I wasn't worth the gas money. Time to find out what I was worth. Day 32. I signed myself out of the hospital against Dr. Martinez's gentle protests, the back brace hidden under a loose jacket. The discharge papers felt like a declaration of independence in my hands. You sure about this, Mr. Tolan? You could benefit from another week of supervised therapy. I'm sure, Doc. Got some things to take care of at home. Home. Funny how the word had lost all its warmth. I drove slowly, carefully, my back screaming protests with every bump and turn. The house looked exactly the same from the outside. Suburban normal, two-car garage, the kind of place where people pretended to be happy. Brenda's Honda was gone. Tuesday meant boutique day. Tyler would be at his afternoon classes, probably explaining to his friends how his pathetic stepfather was milking a work injury for attention. The key still worked, for now. Milo, our 3-year-old golden retriever, went absolutely insane when I walked through the door. Jumping, spinning, tail whipping like a helicopter blade. Pure, uncomplicated joy. At least someone had missed me. Hey, boy. Yeah, I missed you too. I scratched behind his ears and looked around the house with new eyes. Everything I saw, I'd paid for. The leather sectional Brenda had insisted we needed. The 65-inch TV Tyler watched his gaming streams on. The dining set we'd used maybe 6 times in 3 years. The expensive coffee maker that made coffee I was apparently too unsophisticated to appreciate. My phone rang. Carlos Mendez, crew chief from the moving company I'd contacted for my hospital bed. Mr. Tolan, we're about 20 minutes out. You sure about the timeline? Dead sure. 4 hours, like we discussed. Everything on the list. And you've got the documentation? I've got everything you need. I walked through the house one more time, Milo following like a furry shadow. In the master bedroom, I opened Brenda's nightstand drawer to grab some papers I'd left there. Instead, I found something that made me laugh out loud for the first time in weeks. A journal. Pink leather, gold clasp. Very high school. I flipped it open to a random page and started reading. Frank says Victor is too stupid to ever figure it out. He works all day and comes home exhausted, never pays attention to anything. F thinks we could keep this going for years. Sometimes I wonder what I ever saw in V. He's so boring compared to F. No ambition, no style. Just shows up and does his job like some kind of robot. Frank. Franklin DeSoto, junior partner at Hartwell, Klein and Associates. Balding, arrogant, drove a Mercedes he couldn't quite afford. I'd met him at a few of Brenda's work functions. Always had something to say about real estate opportunities and investment strategies. The kind of guy who wore expensive cologne to mask the stench of desperation. I photographed several pages with my phone. Evidence, documentation. The habits of a logistics officer die hard. The moving truck arrived exactly on time. Carlos brought 2 other guys, Dave and Miguel. Professional, efficient, no questions asked. I'd paid them well to be discreet and thorough. Everything on this list, I said, handing Carlos the inventory I'd prepared. Nothing else. Her clothes stay. The kids' gaming setup stays. Everything else goes. Where to? Storage unit on Riverside. I'll follow you over after you're loaded. They worked with the efficiency of a military operation. Sectional sofa, dining set, TV, coffee maker, my tools from the garage, the grill from the back patio, even Milo's bed and toys. Brenda had always complained the dog bed was too big, took up too much space. Wasteful, she'd called it. Not wasteful anymore. 4 hours and 17 minutes. The house looked like a crime scene, if the crime was removing every trace of comfort and normalcy. Empty rooms echoed with the ghosts of a life I'd apparently been living alone. I changed the locks. New deadbolt, new handle set, new garage door codes. Took me 45 minutes and felt like the most satisfying work I'd done in years. The eviction notice was already prepared, printed on legal letterhead from a lawyer I'd consulted by phone. 30 days to vacate. Perfectly legal. The house was mine, had always been mine, and I was exercising my right to reclaim my property. I posted it on the front door with clear packing tape. Then I called Brenda's business loan officer. Mr. Coyle, this is Victor Tolan. I need to inform you that the collateral property for loan number 447-3391 is no longer available to secure the debt. I'm sorry, Mr. Tolan. I don't understand. The house at 1247 Maple Street, which secures my wife's business loan, I'm reclaiming the property. The loan will need to be restructured or called in immediately. Silence. The sound of papers rustling. Mr. Tolan, this is highly unusual. Can Mrs. Tolan call me to discuss? Mrs. Tolan can discuss it with you, but the collateral is no longer available. I'm just giving you the courtesy of advance notice. I hung up and looked around the empty house one more time. Milo sat beside me, panting happily, unaware that his world had just shifted on its axis. My phone buzzed. Text message from an unknown number, but I recognized the tone immediately. What the hell did you do to my house? I turned off the phone and headed for the door. Milo followed, tail still wagging. Time to find us a new place to live. The security camera footage must have been spectacular. I'd forgotten about the doorbell cam Brenda had insisted we install last year. For package deliveries, she'd said. Really, it was so she could spy on the neighbors and collect gossip for her weekly coffee sessions with the girls. My sister Celia called me at 7:30 that evening, barely able to contain her laughter. Victor, you magnificent bastard. Please tell me you've seen the video. What video? Check your email, now. I'm sending you a link. I was sitting in a Motel 6 room across town. Milo sprawled across the second bed like he owned the place. My laptop was open on the small desk, and I clicked Celia's link with a mixture of curiosity and dread. The video was everything I could have hoped for and more. Brenda's Honda pulling into the driveway at 4:47 p.m., according to the timestamp. She gets out, walks to the front door, tries her key. Confusion, tries again, reads the eviction notice. The exact moment of realization is beautiful. Her face goes through surprise, confusion, rage, and back to rage in about 3 seconds. She's screaming at the door, pounding on it, trying the key again like maybe it'll work if she just believes hard enough. Then she's on her phone, pacing the front yard, gesturing wildly at nothing. The best part comes when Tyler arrives 20 minutes later. He pulls up in his beat-up Civic, sees his mother having a complete meltdown on the front lawn, and just sits in his car for a full minute before getting out. What's wrong with the door? I can hear him asking. He changed the locks. He took everything. Tyler tries his key. Same result. They both stand there, staring at the house like it might explain itself. The video cuts off after 43 minutes of this performance. Jesus, Celia, how did you get this? Brenda's friend Jessica lives next door. She downloaded it from the app and sent it to everyone. It's already on Facebook. I felt something I hadn't experienced in weeks. Joy. Pure, uncomplicated satisfaction. There's more, Celia continued. Apparently, Brenda showed up at some party tonight at the Hendersons' place. Complete breakdown. Mascara everywhere, screaming about how you stole everything, even the dog. Someone recorded it on their phone. Send me that one too. Already did. Victor, I have to ask, are you okay? I mean, mentally? I'm better than I've been in years. Good. Because Mom called me. Brenda's been calling her, crying, saying you've lost your mind. What did Mom say? She said it was about time you grew a backbone. The second video was even better than the first. Brenda at what looked like a backyard barbecue, surrounded by the usual crowd of suburban wives who had nothing better to do than dissect each other's lives. She's holding a wine glass, gesturing frantically, makeup streaked down her cheeks. He took everything, the furniture, the TV, even the dog. What kind of man takes a woman's dog? One of the women, I recognized her as Janet Morrison, whose husband had left her for his secretary 2 years ago, actually laughed. Maybe the kind of man whose wife tells him he's not worth the gas money to visit in the hospital? The silence that followed was deafening. You could see it dawn on everyone present that maybe, just maybe, there was another side to this story. Brenda's face went from tragic to furious in record time. You don't know what you're talking about. He's been impossible to live with, calling constantly, whining about everything. Brenda, another voice said, sounded like Carol Peterson. Didn't you say you hoped he'd just die already? At book club last week. The video ended abruptly, but I could imagine the aftermath. The uncomfortable shuffling, the sudden need to refresh drinks, the whispered conversations that would follow Brenda for months. My phone had 37 missed calls and 42 text messages. I scrolled through them without reading, enjoying the escalating desperation in the preview text. Brenda, Tyler, Brenda's mother, Tyler's biological father who hadn't spoken to the kid in 8 years, but suddenly had opinions about custody. The last message was from Frank DeSoto. We need to talk. This has gone far enough. I typed back, You're right. It has. Then I blocked his number and ordered pizza. Milo and I were going to celebrate. The next morning brought consequences. I was drinking coffee in the motel's lobby. Terrible coffee. But it was free and I was in an economical mood when my phone rang. Unknown number. Victor Tolan? Speaking. This is Detective Sarah Banks, Baltimore County Police. I need to ask you a few questions about a domestic disturbance complaint filed yesterday evening. I'm listening. Your wife alleges that you illegally evicted her from her residence and stole marital property. She's requesting we investigate possible theft charges. I almost laughed. Almost. Detective, I'd be happy to speak with you. When would be convenient? This afternoon, say 2 o'clock at the station? I'll be there. I spent the morning at the county courthouse, pulling records, property deed, mortgage documents, vehicle registrations, business loan paperwork. Everything I needed to demonstrate that Brenda had been living in my house, driving vehicles registered in my name, and operating a business secured by my assets. The police station smelled like burnt coffee and bureaucracy. Detective Banks was younger than I'd expected, maybe mid-30s, with the tired eyes of someone who'd seen too many domestic disputes turn ugly. Mr. Tolan, thank you for coming in voluntarily. Happy to help. Your wife claims you've stolen furniture, electronics, and other property from your shared residence. I opened the folder I'd brought and placed the first document on her desk. This is the deed to the house at 1247 Maple Street. You'll notice it's in my name only. I inherited the property from my father in 2019, 2 years before I married Brenda. She examined the document carefully. The furniture and other items were purchased during your marriage? With my income, yes. Brenda's boutique has been operating at a loss since it opened. I have the financial records if you need them. I placed the bank statements on the desk. 3 years of deposits and withdrawals, showing clearly that every dollar in our joint account came from my paychecks. What about the eviction notice? Perfectly legal. I'm the sole owner of the property, and I'm exercising my right to reclaim it. I gave her 30 days' notice, which exceeds the legal requirement. Detective Banks leaned back in her chair, studying me. Mr. Tolan, can I ask why you're doing this? I mean, what triggered this comprehensive response? I told her about the hospital, the phone calls, the exact words Brenda and Tyler had used. I kept my voice level, professional, just reporting facts. I see. She made some notes. And where are you staying now? Motel 6 on Route 40. Room 237. I'm looking for a permanent place. Any plans to return to the marital residence? No, I'm done with that chapter of my life. She closed her notepad and looked at me with something that might have been respect. Mr. Tolan, I have to tell you, I don't see any criminal activity here. You removed your own property from your own house. The eviction notice appears to be legal. As for the marital property issue, that's civil court territory. I understand. Off the record, I've seen a lot of domestic situations. Most of the time, it's the woman calling us because the man won't leave her alone. This is different. Different how? Usually, when someone's been in the hospital for a month, their family visits, at least once. I found an apartment that afternoon. Small, clean, one bedroom with a fenced yard for Milo. The landlord was a veteran himself, former Navy, and we understood each other without much conversation. First month, last month, security deposit. Cash. No drama. Moving my stuff from the storage unit took one trip with a rented truck. I didn't have much, just the essentials I'd rescued from my former life. But it felt like starting over, and starting over felt like freedom. Celia stopped by that evening with Chinese takeout and a bottle of wine. So, how are you holding up, little brother? Better than expected. Any regrets? I thought about it while opening the wine. You know what I regret? I regret wasting 10 years trying to make someone love me who was incapable of basic human decency. That's not an answer. It's the only answer that matters. We ate in comfortable silence, Milo begging for scraps of sweet and sour pork. Outside, it was starting to rain, and I realized I was genuinely happy for the first time in years. My phone buzzed. Text message from Tyler. Mom's crying all the time. Are you happy now? I showed the message to Celia. What are you going to say? I deleted the message without responding and blocked Tyler's number. Nothing. I'm done talking to people who think I don't matter. Frank DeSoto made his move on Thursday. I was at the hardware store, buying supplies to fix a loose railing on my new apartment's back steps, when he cornered me in the parking lot. He looked like hell. Unshaven, wrinkled shirt, the kind of desperation that comes from watching your carefully constructed life collapse in real time. Victor, we need to talk. No, we don't. This has gone far enough. Brenda is devastated. Tyler's a mess. You're destroying innocent people. I set down my bag of screws and brackets and really looked at him. Frank DeSoto, junior partner, ambitious climber, the man who'd been screwing my wife and calling me too stupid to notice. Innocent people? You know what I mean. Actually, I don't. Explain it to me. He glanced around the parking lot, checking for witnesses. Look, maybe things got complicated, but that doesn't mean you have to destroy everything. Complicated. I let the word hang in the air. That's what you call it? Brenda made a mistake. People make mistakes. I pulled out my phone and opened the photos I'd taken of her journal. Frank says Victor's too stupid to ever figure it out, I read aloud. He works all day and comes home exhausted, never pays attention to anything. Frank thinks we could keep this going for years. The color drained from his face. Sometimes I wonder what I ever saw in Victor. He's so boring compared to Frank. No ambition, no style. Just shows up and does his job like some kind of robot. Where did you? She kept a diary, Frank. Very detailed, very honest. Want to hear more? You can't what? Can't read my wife's thoughts about our marriage? Can't learn about her relationship with you? Can't find out that you two were planning to keep this going for years while I paid for everything? He took a step back, bumping into his precious Mercedes. What do you want? I want you to understand something. I spent 20 years in the Army managing logistics operations. Do you know what that means? It means I can track a paperclip through 6 countries and 4 time zones. It means I know where everything is, who owns it, and how to move it efficiently. It means I plan for contingencies you haven't even thought of yet. I stepped closer. You thought I was stupid. Both of you did. The boring husband who just shows up and does his job. But here's the thing about boring guys like me. We pay attention. We document everything. We plan ahead. Victor, please, your law firm knows about this yet? His face went white. Hartwell, Klein, and Associates has a pretty strict morality clause in their partnership agreements, don't they? Something about conduct that reflects poorly on the firm's reputation? You wouldn't. I wouldn't what? Wouldn't protect myself? Wouldn't document threats and harassment? Wouldn't ensure that people who tried to destroy my life face consequences? I picked up my hardware store bag and headed for my truck. Stay away from me, Frank. Stay away from my property. And maybe start looking for a new job. That evening, Celia called with updates from the Suburban Gossip Network. Brenda's been staying with her mother. Apparently, Marjorie is not thrilled about having a 38-year-old daughter moving back home. I can imagine. And get this. Frank's wife found out about the affair. Someone sent her screenshots of Brenda's Facebook posts about how Frank understands her in ways her husband never could. Someone. Anonymous email. Very thorough. Included photos of Frank's car parked at the boutique after hours, credit card receipts from restaurants, the whole package. I said nothing, but Celia knew me too well. Victor, you didn't. I have no idea what you're talking about. You magnificent, devious bastard. Friday brought the coup de grace. I was having lunch at Mickey's Diner, comfort food, quiet booth in the back, when my phone buzzed with a call from an unknown number. Mr. Tolan, This is Janet Morrison. We met at a few of Brenda's parties. I remember. I wanted to call and apologize. A bunch of us were talking and we realized we only heard Brenda's side of things. And after what happened at the Hendersons' party, what exactly did happen? I heard there was some kind of scene. She was drunk, really drunk. Started telling everyone about how she'd been seeing Frank DeSoto, how you were too boring and stupid to figure it out, how she deserved better than a blue-collar nobody who couldn't appreciate the finer things. I almost felt sorry for Brenda. Almost. The thing is, Janet continued, most of us know Frank. He's hit on half the wives in the neighborhood at one point or another. And we all know about your accident, how you were in the hospital for a month. When Brenda said you weren't worth the gas money to visit, I see. A lot of people are feeling pretty bad about how they treated you. We believed her stories about you being controlling and unreasonable. We didn't know well, we didn't know the truth. I appreciate you calling, Janet. There's something else. Frank got fired yesterday. Apparently his law firm found out about the affair and decided it violated their professional conduct standards. I managed to sound surprised. Really? Really. And Brenda's boutique is closing. The bank called in her loan. After Janet hung up, I sat in the diner for another hour, drinking coffee and watching traffic through the window. Milo was at home, probably napping in the patch of sunlight by the back door. My new life was small, simple, and entirely mine. My phone rang one more time. Tyler. Victor, it's Tyler. I thought I blocked your number. I'm calling from a friend's phone. Look, I need to talk to you. We don't have anything to talk about. My mom she's not doing well. She's been drinking a lot, crying all the time. My grandmother says she can't stay there much longer. That's not my problem. She says she's sorry about what she said in the hospital. No, she's not. She's sorry she got caught. She's sorry there were consequences. But she's not sorry about what she said, because she meant every word. Silence on the other end. Tyler, you told me you didn't miss me. You told me not to call anymore. I'm just following your instructions. I was angry. You were honest. For the first time in years, you were completely honest about how you felt. I respect that. So that's it? You're just going to abandon us? Son, you can't abandon people who never wanted you around in the first place. I hung up and turned off my phone. The waitress refilled my coffee cup without being asked. Outside, it was starting to rain again, and I realized I was exactly where I wanted to be. 6 months later, I was sitting on my back porch, watching Milo chase squirrels in the yard, when Detective Banks stopped by. Mr. Tolan, hope you don't mind me dropping in unannounced? Not at all. Can I get you some coffee? That'd be nice. I poured 2 cups from the pot I kept warm on the porch table, a habit I'd developed since moving in. Simple pleasures. How are you settling in? Better than expected. Milo loves the yard. As if summoned, the dog trotted over and flopped down at our feet, tongue hanging out. I wanted to follow up on that domestic situation from last year. Make sure there haven't been any further incidents. None at all. Good. For what it's worth, I think you handled a difficult situation with remarkable restraint. Thank you. Your ex-wife moved to Florida, I heard. Fresh start. So I've been told. And the stepson? Tyler's doing fine, as far as I know. Living with his biological father now. They seem to be working things out. Detective Banks nodded and sipped her coffee. You know, in 20 years of police work, I've seen a lot of domestic situations go bad. Violence, restraining orders, property destruction, custody battles that drag on for years. This was different. Different how? You didn't try to hurt anyone. You didn't break any laws. You just stopped participating in your own destruction. We sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching Milo patrol the fence line. Can I ask you something, Mr. Tolan? Sure. Do you ever regret it? Walking away from everything? I thought about the question seriously. Did I regret it? Did I miss the big house, the expensive furniture, the social obligations? Did I miss being married to someone who thought I wasn't worth the gas money to visit in the hospital? Detective, I spent 10 years of my life trying to earn love from people who were incapable of giving it. I paid for everything, fixed everything, provided everything. and got nothing but contempt in return. The day I stopped trying to earn their approval was the day I got my life back. That's not really an answer. It's the only answer that matters. She finished her coffee and stood to leave. Well, for what it's worth, I think you made the right choice. After she left, I called Celia. How's retirement treating you, little brother? I'd taken early retirement from the warehouse, cashed out my pension, and was living simply but comfortably. No mortgage, no car payments, no expensive wife with expensive tastes. Can't complain. How's Mom? She's good. Proud of you, actually. She never liked Brenda much. She never said anything. You seemed happy. Or at least you seemed like you were trying to be happy. That was enough for her. And now you actually are happy. It shows. That evening, I grilled a burger on my small patio grill and shared it with Milo. We sat on the back steps as the sun went down, listening to the neighborhood settle into evening quiet. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. For a moment, I considered ignoring it. Then, curiosity got the better of me. Victor, this is Brenda. I got your number from Celia. I wanted to reach out and see if we could talk. I've been doing a lot of thinking about everything that happened. I realize I made mistakes. Maybe we could try again? I'm different now. Florida changed me. I miss what we had. I read the message twice, then showed it to Milo. What do you think, boy? Should I respond? Milo yawned and put his head on my lap. I deleted the message without responding and blocked the number. Then I scratched behind Milo's ears and looked up at the stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky. She said I wasn't worth the gas money, I told him. Turns out I was worth a hell of a lot more than that. Milo's tail thumped against the porch steps in agreement. Inside the house, my phone rang. I let it go to voicemail. Whatever it was could wait until tomorrow. Tonight was for sitting on the porch with my dog, drinking a beer and enjoying the peace I'd built for myself. The rain started again, gentle drops pattering on the roof. Milo and I moved inside, and I made a fire in the small fireplace. Simple pleasures, quiet evenings, no drama, no demands, no one telling me I wasn't good enough. I opened a book, something I hadn't had time for in years, and settled into my comfortable chair. Milo curled up on his bed nearby, and the house filled with the kind of contentment I'd forgotten was possible. Outside, the storm picked up intensity, but inside, everything was warm and dry and mine. For the first time in a decade, I was exactly where I belonged.